Well, hello, this is the Pick and Bow ukulele session. I'm going to do a short video we had this week on 3/3/21. And we reviewed everything, and then we were talking about where we were beginning was learning those four-finger B-flat shape. And again, that is a 3 on the string closest to your nose, 2, and then 1, 1. And you can play those with 2 fingers, or you can play both those notes with 1 finger. And ukuleles usually get there. So that is your B-flat shape. All right. And the reason we're learning that one is we want to be able to move that up 2 frets. So move that up to make that closed position C chord. And that is 5, 4, 3, 3. And it takes a while to do. This is a hard thing to do, but it's so well worth it. And we do that because then we're going to play, we have an option of playing this C chord or playing the first one we learned. And I'll send a little link to a guy describing mandolin chop chords. They're using different fingers on the mandolin, but the reason that he's doing 4-finger chords, he explains, and he kind of talks a little bit about how to get this sound. And that comes from holding the string, pushing down on the strings with your left hand and letting go to dampen that sound. And that is the driving sound of bluegrass the mandolin players play. It's the equivalent of a snare drum playing those offbeats. So practice finding that 4-finger B flat, finding that C chord, and then practice just doing down strokes where you hold the note down, stroke, and let go to try to make that sound. All right. So then we can play any of our 2-finger or 2-chord songs in the key of F and with C. So the 2-finger one in the key of F. F is the 1 chord and C is the 5 chord. And we're going to play My Home's Across the Blue Ridge Mountain, wherever that home's across the Blue Ridge Mountain, home's across the Blue Ridge Mountain. Now use the 4-finger, and I never expect to see you anymore. So every time that we play a chord with a C in it for the next week or 2, always just try to go to that C chord so that becomes easy and normal, because that'll help you find the C and the B flat and the C and the D and the E. They're all the same hand positions, it's just where we put them on here. So practice that. If we play You Are My Sunshine in the key of C, you are my C, F, C, F, C, G, C. Try that chord to start with. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy, F, skies are gray. So to kind of work on that C. Then the other thing we did was we starting to build from our F chord a closed position 7th chord. So there's our F, 2, 0, 1, 0. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add this little finger right there. Can you see that? So it's 2, 0, 1, 3. to make an F chord. And that's nice because if you're playing F's and C's, you can just leave that C down all the time. Leave this finger down all the time. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. So that's kind of nice because then you don't have to look to see where you're going for your F chord. You already have a marker there. But I go on, I'm doing this too long, sorry. So then if we go from that 3-chord F position to A and add our ring finger on the second string on the string second to closest to your nose. So this, it becomes 2, 3, 1, 3. That is an F7 chord. So figure out that you're making your F chord there, you're making your 3-finger F chord there, and you're making your 4-finger F chord there. And what we're going to work on next week is kind of moving that up 2 frets so that F becomes a G, F sharp G. And then that's where we're going to be running to get so we can play those C chords and G7 chords. And your hand kind of swiggles this way. This finger stays, your index finger stays on that note. And this is this C. And then you kind of let your wrist come this way a little bit so your fingers will open up and grab that G7. So that'll take a little bit of doing, but it's coming. And then we were going to practice playing, going from a B flat to a F7. So our 4-finger B flat to our 4-finger F7. And do that on the 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. So kind of work on that, doing the 8s and the 4s. And then the other thing we talked about was strums, and we've reviewed all our old strums, and now we're working towards that chop. So if we make one of our 4-finger chords, here's the C, and we're going to work on the strum that goes 1 and 2, and now down and up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And I'm going down with my finger and back with my thumbnail, or you can use your finger, any finger you want. I generally do this one, I guess. So that's the down, up, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and down and 2 and down and 2, and then we're going to start emphasizing the 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 1 and 2. And at this point, I'm just holding my left hand down, letting the strings ring. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And then eventually we want to get to that point where we talk about making that chop sound on the 2s. So 1 and 2 and 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 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. And so that will come, but it starts that down, up, down, up, down, up, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So try that. And then the last thing we did was looking for something for an ending with a jazzy chord on the end, and we can play, which is 0022, or we can play 0055, or we can play 2233, or we can play 991010. So we could play our ending, and then hold it, wait, and then jazzy chord. These are all kinds of C jazz chords. Straight C, C6-9, C6-9s. All right. And I think that's what we did Thursday. I'll make this available, and I'll send that little thing about mandolin chop. Don't worry about where he's putting his fingers on the mandolin. Just listen to him describe that they're looking for that sound. And again, in bluegrass or old-time music, there's no traditional space. And in old-time music, the instruments are very flexible. In bluegrass music, the space is there for that mandolin, and we need to help that mandolin. And we do that by making those 4-finger chords that we can dampen, we can chop. All right, and we will see you next Thursday, and we're going to work on a song called Make Me a Palette. If you want to go on YouTube and listen to that one, it'll be a good exercise for changing chords, and it's a great song to sing in a group of bluegrass jammers, because not everybody will know the chords, but they can learn them while you play, which is good. All right, take care. God bless.